Hello, hello, hello. We are here to talk about, a little late, but we're here to talk about UFC 257. So, real quick, Jay Nell here, and I want to talk about UFC 257, which happened a couple of days ago. It was a great event. I hope you saw it. But real quick, I did make a prediction on UFC Fight Night 8, which actually happened on this past Wednesday, just on the main card. I chose Michael Chiesa to beat Magney, that's in the welterweight division, and he did. This was a 5-round unanimous decision, and he actually looked great. This is one of the best performances of his life, quite frankly. He looks like he naturally fits in the welterweight division. Looks like he's big enough. Looks like he's strong enough. He's carried the power. He's carried some speed, and he's mentally a much better wrestler than I realized. I don't know the work that he's been doing there, but as far as like having the right move to counteract Neil Magny's moves on the ground, the leverage, the mechanics, like he has a better understanding of wrestling than I realized. So that was really nice to see. Now on the feet, you're way too willing to eat shots. You're too there to hit the top of that division. You're going to have to tighten up that defense. They're a bit stronger. You have to work on that. You're going to have to work on your cardio and all of that to get to that next level. But I do think you're right there. Great performance from Michael Chiesa. Who do you think he should fight next? Now, on to UFC 257. I made technically 5 picks, but one of the fights fell through because Otman Azatar got cut from the UFC I think day before, 2 days before. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Because now, this is what Dana White says. He cut off his wristband, because everybody's been tested and all that. Cut off his wristband, gave it to someone who is not cleared to be there. They taped it on, put it on, walked through the lobby, went into someone's room, then went to the balcony of that room, and then scaled across 3 other rooms on the outside, got inside of Ottman's room, I guess, and dropped off a bag. I mean, you can't even make that up. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's a drop of a bag? I mean, you climbed outside of the building, like you got cameras there. You don't think? So he got cut. Yeah, and he was kind of a prospect. So do not break those. That was so ridiculous. So that fight fell through. They ended up giving Matt someone on the prelims, and he actually lost that fight. And I did not make a pick for the fight that was put in place there. So 4 of my picks were legit, and I was 500. Quiet as it kept, as I did my little post the day of. I did a pick for the fight that was put in place, and then I erased it right before it happened because I was like, I didn't do enough research. I'm not feeling good about this, and I erased my pick, and I'm so glad I did. So 4 picks, 500. All right, let's get into it. First up, I chose Amanda Hebes to beat Marina Rodriguez, and she did not. Marina looked good. That sharp boxing. She's got deceptive power. That girl actually hits hard. All of her shots, you could hear like smack, smack. Immediately, I realized I might lose this pick as this fight started. She won round 1. We get on to round 2. She lands a shot. She landed a kick to the face at one point, landed a shot, had her stumbled onto the ground, got a top ground and pound, and it looked like Herb stopped the fight. He got super close. I thought he touched her. So I was like, what's going on here? But he said the fight should continue. So I was like, okay, you touched her, but okay. So she connected a couple more rights. Smack, smack, and the Herb ended the fight. You looked back on the replay, and he actually didn't touch her. Herb did some old Matrix because he was like hovered over her. He was like, so, and he managed not to touch her. So either way, he got so close. You can't blame her for thinking that he had stopped the fight, quite frankly, because he did get that close. Either way, she went on. She kept her head and finished her again. It was a great win for her. As she said, you know who I am now? And yes, Marina, yes, I do. Who would you like her to fight next? It was a good performance. This is the good performance. Who would you like to see her fight next? Next up, I got this pick. I chose Joanne Calderwood to beat Jessica Ai, and she did. This was a 3-round unanimous decision in her favor. Someone let me know if it was all 30, 27s, 29, 28s. I actually kind of left during that point. I knew she won, but I excused myself and didn't get the scoring on there. So someone let me know the scoring on there because I thought that Jessica won the first round. She pressed the pace. She was pressed up against the cage. She held the center of the octagon. She initiated the shots. They both were going back and forth. She landed some good shots. I think Joanne landed some cleaner shots, but I believe that Jessica had a higher offensive output in that first round. Second round, she clearly slowed down, like cardio-wise, which I didn't expect. Joanne was able to take advantage of that. She was able to hold the center of the octagon more and just simply start to outland her. And she also had more diversity in her strikes, more of an overall attack. She landed some kicks in there. She landed some elbows in close quarters. They were scrapping a little bit. There were some takedowns there. But yeah, it was a good win for Joanne Calderwood. Like I said, I wanted her to win the fight because since Jessica's already lost to Valentina, if Valentina wins against her next opponent, does she already have an next opponent? I'm not sure. Either way, I'd like to see different opponents for Valentina Shevchenko. So that's why I wanted her to win. So who would you like to see Joanne Calderwood fight next? Now, next up, co-main event. I did not get this pick, and I'm pretty okay with it. We saw, man, I need some theme music for the debut, debut of Mr. Iron Michael Chandler. I did not pick him, but boy did he win against Mr. Dan Hooker. This ended in the first round. Now, I don't want to take anything. Let's talk about it. Now, it seemed like Dan Hooker was a little bit too focused on the wrestling takedowns. We know that that's a huge threat. And even beforehand, he said he's just going to try to take me down and ground and pound, all of that. I think he forgot that, his name is Iron Mike for a reason. He's got some deceptive power in them hands. And even I forgot to mention it in my prediction video because, ooh-wee. So we're going back and forth here. And also he was backpedaling, circling a lot, trying to, again, it seemed like he was really focused on not being taken down. He actually didn't even mount that much of an offense, especially for Dan Hooker. He's pretty active, pretty quick. He's not a slow starter. So he was backpedaling, circling. He kind of had his hands kind of lax, kind of low, again, kind of like, don't take me down. There was a couple of kicks in there, but really it was Michael Chandler who was mounting some sort of offense. He held the center of the octagon. He was pressing the pace, moving forward. He was throwing some kicks. He actually landed a front kick at one point to the solar plex. He was throwing some shots, some feints, he was faking the takedown and all of that. He was the one that was more active, and eventually he actually kind of went low, came back up with the left hook that clocked Dan Hooker. Blow! Dropped him. And then he got on top like side control and just started with the hands. Blah. I don't know how many times he hit him. Dan had the guard up at one point, but them shots was getting all up and through that guard. And so eventually the ref stopped the fight. Great stoppage, great win. This is in the first round. Then Michael Chandler went to the top of the cage, and then he jumped super high and did a backflip. Like, he didn't just jump off the cage and do a backflip. He like jumped up and soared. It was actually quite beautiful, and it gave me a near heart attack because I was like, please don't hurt yourself on your debut during the celebration after you had one of the best debuts we've ever seen. Please don't hurt yourself. So he did it. He kind of fell or dropped or landed it and rolled with it. Don't do that again. All right. Afterwards, he got on the mic. He called out both of the people in the main event. He also called out Khabib, of course. And he had like a nice little promo as well. I mean, again, you couldn't have asked for more in your debut. He said this was the biggest win of his career. So, congratulations to Michael Chandler. Who would you like to see him fight next? Now, main event, and I got this pick. That's why I was 500. I chose Dustin Poirier to beat Conor McGregor, the notorious one, and he did. This was Conor's return match. He's only fought once in the last 3 years. So in the first round, the first round was actually pretty close. Dustin did land a takedown. He had the higher offensive output, which I knew he had to do. It was a lot more close quarters, and of course, Conor landed some more of them shoulder shots. Looks like that's something that he does well. But unlike Cowboy, Dustin got hit with one shoulder shot and immediately moved that head. He was like, blah, blah. So Dustin didn't keep that head there at all. So there was some dirty boxing, jockeying back and forth. Conor landed some nice shots, some clean shots there. Like I said, he also got taken down. So that round was extremely close. It probably could have gone either way. You look at the comments, it kind of gone either way. Second round, however. Oh, and in the midst, Dustin was landing some lower leg kicks the entire time. Those really came into play very quickly, quite frankly. It started to hamper his movement in that first round. Second round, more of the same, and it really started to hamper that movement a bit. Then Dustin actually kind of upped the offensive output, was able to put together some flurries. He landed a good shot, which actually knocks Conor up against the cage, and then he really turned on some flurries. Body head, body head, body head. Conor was ducking, trying to move while getting hit at the same point, stumbled, then kind of turned sideways a bit, and was kind of almost in a squatted position, and Dustin landed a shot just clean, BAM! Knocked him all the way down to the ground. I don't even know if there was a shot after that. I'm pretty sure he knocked Conor all the way out. Sleep. So there's the picture like. So this was a great win, of course, for Dustin Poirier. I thought this was for the lightweight belt. I was mistaken, okay? It was not. So Khabib is actually still the champion. So yeah, great win for Dustin Poirier. Conor afterwards said that he definitely thinks the inactivity got to him, and I actually think that that's a lot of truth to that. Honestly, I don't really think that's an excuse, because the things that Conor is really great at, gauging range and distance, timing, these are the things that he is kind of better than other people at. Those are the things you really need to practice. You're not really going to have that gauge for the distance and timing and all of that unless you're actually doing reps in the cage, training, sparring. You actually fighting. You actually have to keep that skill sharp. You can't actually be just sitting back chilling and expect to have your timing and your distance and range down. The things that he's actually like best at, right? Better than other people at. So yeah, he's gonna have to fight more. He says he wants to fight more. So in this case, who would you like to see both of them fight next? Since you know Conor is such a big star who has such sway in the industry, and he wants to keep fighting. So who would you like to see him fight next? The winner of, the loser of, and of course Dustin Poirier, who won the fight. Who would you like to see him fight next? Now they're already talking about him and Michael Chandler getting a fight for the belt. But how do you feel knowing that you have the Charles Oliveira amazing win against Tony Ferguson? Is that fight signed with Justin Gaethje? If not, should there be since there's 4 of them, should there be 2 fights and then one for the belt? Or is that fight signed? And if so, then you've got 3 winners here. The RDA, I believe, RDA is number 7 or number 5. There's got to be 2 other people in there. Someone let me know who it is. I know I'm leaving somebody out. Should that fight happen too, and then we get again like a 4-man situation? Let me know what you think. Should Justin and Chandler just go ahead and get that title shot, fight for the vacant belt? Khabib says he hasn't seen. He said, Dana, be honest. None of these guys are on my level. I got a video coming out. Breaking. He's my next Let's Talk UFC champs. We're going to go ahead and talk about Khabib, since technically he's still the champion. So actually be looking out for that video. That will be after this one. And I have some questions to pose on that. So technically he's still the champion. What do you think should happen with this whole lightweight picture? The most talented division in the world. What do you think should happen with this division? Who should these fighters fight next? What should happen? Let me know what you did, how you did on all of your picks. Of course, that was UFC Fight Night 8. Let me know how you did, of course, on UFC 257. And yeah, I know it was late, but follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I did almost have a last-minute pick until I erased it. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.